Hello friends, welcome to our Python programming journey. Before we dive into today's lesson, if you are passionate about coding and eager to enhance your skills with us, take a moment to hit that like button below. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more aspiring programmers like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notification to never miss a step toward becoming a Python pro. Ready to get started? Let's jump right into it. In this video, we are going to learn about data structures in Python. There are basically four data structures available in Python. First one is list, second one is tuple, third one is set, and fourth one is dictionary. We will look each one of them one by one in detail. So let's get started with list. Lists are nothing but dynamic arrays. That means while creating or initializing it, it is not mandatory to declare it with a specific size. List is heterogeneous in nature, meaning it can have different elements of different data types. For example, you can have a list of elements which are integers, floats, booleans, and string. List is an ordered collection. It always maintains the order in which elements are added. It is a mutable data structure, meaning we can change list during the execution of program by adding, removing, and modifying the elements. List also supports indexing and slicing just for an easy access to elements. List also provides concise way to create list. In Python terminology, it is called as list comprehensions. This terminology you will encounter very frequently in your Python programming career. It also has built-in functions and methods to manipulate list itself. So let's see how we can practically write a program which uses the list. In this practical, we will see how we can initialize an empty list. Next, we will see how we can provide some default values into the list while creating it. Then we will see list methods. First method we'll see in the list is append, then insert, remove, pop, reverse, and extend. So let's start. So we can take any variable. I'll take my underscore list and I'll assign it an empty square brackets. So this basically indicates that this my list is an empty list. Now let's see how we can initialize the list with some default values. So let's say my list 1 into this square bracket will assign some elements. So let's say 1 is our first element, A is our second element, A is an alphabet, hence we need to cover it with quotes, single quotes or double quotes, both are fine. Third element we can take boolean. So we know that true and false both are Python keywords, so we can directly use like this. So we'll assign fourth element as a string. So friends, this is how we can initialize the list with different values. As I shared earlier, all elements are different in nature. So each element is a different type of data. So this is string, this is boolean, this is also considered as string, but this is a single character and this is an integer. Let's replace this with float. So we'll replace it with pi value 3.14. So now it covers all the different data types in this list. So integer, float, boolean, and string. So this is how we can assign some values to a list. Let's try to print it first. So we'll print first my underscore list, then we'll print my underscore list 1. Let's save it and let's try to run this program. So here you can see empty is also printed and the list with initialized values are also printed as we have declared here. Both values will be same. Now let's try to add one additional element into my list. So my list dot append. So append is the method which will add any element into the end of the list. So let's try to add 5 here. We'll print my list as well, and then we save it and we will try to run it. So here you can see first my list is empty, which was printed using this print statement. Then we modified my list and appended one element into it, which is nothing but the 5, and then we printed it. So here it is, how it is printed on console. Now let's try to add same element into my list 1, and then we'll see what happens. My underscore list 1 dot append 5, and we'll print my list 1. Now let's run it. So here you can see the 5 is added at the end of the list. That's what I was saying. Append adds an element to the end of the list. Now let's try to use the next method, which is nothing but insert method. So insert method basically provides a facility to insert an element to this specific index in the list. For example, in this list we have total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. But what if we want to add some element after 3.14 and before true? So that can be achieved using insert method. So my list 1 dot insert will provide the index. First argument should be the index, so we want to add it as a third element. So in the list, this index starts from 0. So this is 1, 2 and third element we want to add. Now index becomes 3, but in computer languages, in any programming languages, index starts with 0. So we'll use 3 minus 1, which is nothing but 2. So we'll provide here 2 and then whatever element we want to add. For example, let's add 7 and then let's try to print it. My list 1. Let's try to run it. Now you can see here first element, second element and third element. The desired output we have received, that 7 is inserted into the third position. Now let's see how we can remove any element from the list. So same way, my underscore list 1 dot remove. So remove basically finds a provided value into the list and simply removes it. So let's try to remove 7 from the list and then print my list 1, and let's save it and run it. So here you can see 7 that we inserted was removed from the list. Now let's try to use the pop method. Pop method basically will remove the element from the end of the list. So in this case, in my list 1, if we use the pop method, then it will remove 5 and it will return 5 as a return value. So we'll say return val equal to my list 1 dot pop. So pop does not require any mandatory argument. If we don't provide any argument, it will remove the item from the end of the list. If we provide the value index, it will remove that particular element from the list. So pop basically accepts one argument which is optional, and that is index. So index starts with 0 to the length of the list. Whatever number we provide into pop function will remove element from that particular position. If we don't provide any index number there, then it will by default remove the last element from the list. So let's try to use pop without any argument. Print my list 1. Print the return value as well. Print pop value is comma return value. So we'll see that pop which value pop has written. Let's try to run it. So here you can see it removed 5 from the end of the list, and that 5 was actually assigned to this variable return val, and it is printed when this statement gets executed. Similarly, we can reverse the list. So let's try to use another method which is reverse. So my list 1 dot reverse. So reverse basically reverse the list in place. That means it doesn't return anything to capture. So now if we print this my list 1, then it will completely change the order. So right now it is 1, 2, 1, 3.14, true and smears. After reversing, the last element will become first, then true will second, then 3.14, and then last element will be 1. So let's test that. Save it, run it. As I said, smears is the first element, then boolean value is the second element, then 3.14, and then 1. So this is how reverse is working. Now let's see extend. So my list 1 dot extend. So extend function basically accepts an iterable. So iterable is nothing but a value which can be looked into one by one. So for example, list is an iterable value. So this is an empty list if we provide 9, 8, 7. So this entire list is an iterable. So Now what will happen? My list 1 will be extended with additional values, which is 987. So here my list 1 is reverse, so smiansh true 3.14 1 and then comma 9 comma 8 comma 7. That should be printed. So let's try to print it. My list 1, let's execute it. So here you can see, as I was saying, so this is the output of this extend. So now you can do some exercise by your own by using the copy, clear, count and index methods, and provide your comments. So viewers, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it. If you have liked this video, then provide thumbs up and share with your friends as well. See you in the next video. Thank you.